Here are the 10 oldest lottery winners. From decades-long dedication to winning the fortune when least expected, these stories tell us that luck knows no age limit. Number 10. Robert Bailey, 67 years old. Robert Bailey, a 67-year-old retired postal worker from Manhattan, did something that many of us might find hard to imagine. For 25 years, he played the lottery week after week, and he did it with the same set of numbers every single time. Now, that's some dedication. Robert's lottery journey began when a family member handed him those magical numbers a quarter of a century ago. Without fail, he played those numbers for years. But sometimes, fate has a funny way of shaking things up. One day, while Robert was out, it started to rain. So he decided to take shelter in a cozy deli. While he was there, someone urged him to buy his tickets right then. And guess what? It was Robert's lucky day. He had matched the magical combination of numbers 8, 12, 13, 19, 27, 4 to hit the Powerball jackpot. This made him a legend in 2018. He had won half of a jaw-dropping $687.8 million jackpot, which makes his grand prize around $343 million. He chose to take the lump sum payout, walking away with $125 million after taxes. During the press conference, he was asked how he would spend his newfound fortune. Well, the guy was not keen on flaunting it. In fact, he was pretty smart, as he had already talked to a lawyer and a financial expert to figure out what to do. But Robert did have some big plans for that cash. The first thing he wanted to do was to get his mom a big fancy house. That's a pretty heartwarming gesture. He also wanted to travel and make some sensible investments to make the most of the experience. It was pretty clear from his stance that he was not going to blow it all on crazy stuff. Plus, he was keen to give back to the Manhattan community. Robert Bailey's future plans are admirable. But up next, we have a lottery winner who, despite winning big, had no grand plans at all. Number 9. Bill Stout, 68 years old. A 68-year-old man named Bill Stout worked as a trauma nurse in New York. But after his retirement, he lived a simple life in Carbondale. He just had one hobby, and that was playing the lottery. For a whole decade, every week, he would buy a $2 ticket, hoping that someday he would get lucky. Now, Bill was not a man of grand ambitions. He was not dreaming of yachts or mansions. No, all he really wanted was something quite humble, a new vacuum cleaner. The thing is that Bill's old vacuum had seen better days, and he figured it was time for an upgrade. In June 2023, Bill got a call from the Colorado lottery officials. His heart must have raced because what they had to say was beyond belief. Bill was the lucky winner of a jackpot. He had won a whopping $3.8 million. That was a moment of joy for him. Bill chose the lump sum so he could really experience what it's like to be a millionaire. So he received $1.9 million after the taxes. And with this amount, he thought about taking a train trip to relive some old adventures. But most importantly, he wanted that new vacuum cleaner he'd been eyeing for a while. Back in the day, he used to enjoy horseback riding and paragliding. However, these hobbies had taken a back seat due to their cost. Now, with this unexpected fortune, Bill planned to get back to doing the things he loved most. And he had one really sweet plan for the money. He wanted to buy 100 gift cards for the kind people at his local grocery store. It was his way of giving back and spreading a little kindness. Just like Billy Stout, the next winner on our list chose a humble lifestyle following their life-altering win. Number 8. Carolyn Geis, 80 years old. Our next lottery winner is Carolyn Geis from Dearborn, Michigan. She was not your average grandma at 80. She had a lifelong tradition of playing the Michigan lottery for years. She had seen it all, from scratch-offs to instant wins. But there was one game that held a special place in her heart: the Powerball. In October 2022, the Powerball jackpot reached a mind-blowing $715 million. So, Carolyn purchased several tickets for this thrilling drawing. She had no idea that one of those tickets was going to make a huge difference in her life. As soon as the winning numbers were announced, Carolyn could not wait a second longer. She checked her ticket and saw the numbers 19, 36, 37, 46, 56, with a Powerball of 18. She had matched 5 numbers. It was a moment that left her breathless. She had won a staggering $1 million, even though she hadn't hit the jackpot. It was incredible, and she was overjoyed. Carolyn had bought the ticket at Sheriff Oil Inc. in her hometown of Dearborn. After taxes, she received $717,500, and she had a noble plan for her newfound fortune. With her winnings, she intended to take care of her family. Carolyn's persistence in playing the lottery paid off. The next winner on our list found out how important that can be by almost missing her chance of winning. Number 7. Vera Page, 83 years old. Our next story is about Vera Page, an 83-year-old lady who lived at the local retirement home. She enjoyed her weekly trips, especially the one to the grocery store. But this ordinary little trip turned things around for her. One day, the staff at her retirement home decided to postpone their weekly grocery store visit. But Vera had to get some important things done, so she set off for the store on her own. As she strolled through the aisles, a thought suddenly popped into her head. She had to buy her Lotto Max and Lotto 649 tickets, so she grabbed them before heading home. In November 2022, news soon spread like wildfire that the winning ticket for the $60 million Lotto Max draw was sold in the Prescott and Russell area. Vera's heart skipped a beat as she thought about those tickets she had bought. Could she be the lucky winner? The excitement within her was bubbling, but she had a tough time convincing herself that this dream had come true. But she just had a feeling that she was holding the winning ticket. Convincing her friends and family that she was the winner of $60 million was almost turned into a big challenge. Luckily, Vera shared the news with the right person, her son Trevor. She told him she might be holding a jackpot winner and that they needed to head to Foodland to validate the ticket. At Foodland, the clerk confirmed that she was right. She had won big. Vera could not believe her ears. It was real. You see, she had lived a simple and humble life. She had raised her family while working as a personal support worker. And now, she had the chance to enjoy her life. Vera made plans to set sail on an Alaskan cruise and relax in the tropical paradise. She even thought of buying a big boat to tour the Ottawa River. But most importantly, she wished to share her winnings with her loving family. But if she hadn't gone to the store that day, she would have missed the drawing that gave her the jackpot. Vera's not the only one who achieved something amazing. Next up, we have a lottery winner who defied the odds of Powerball. Number 6. Gloria McKenzie, 84 years old. Gloria McKenzie was 84 years old when she won the lottery in 2013. Now, this might sound unbelievable, but she snagged a jaw-dropping $590 million in the Powerball jackpot. Her win made her the biggest single Powerball winner ever at that time. But there's something really heartwarming about her story. Her luck was thanks to a kind soul who let her cut in line at the grocery store. Who knows? If that hadn't happened, she might have been given a totally different set of numbers by the quick pick machine, and she never would have won. Before the jackpot, Gloria didn't have much. She lived in a rented duplex and didn't even own her own home. She was the widow of a war veteran and worked at a mill, and she faced some really tough times, and she didn't even have a monthly Social Security check to rely on. But the jackpot made her life better. When Gloria won, she had a choice. She could get her winnings in smaller chunks over time or in one big pile of cash. Just like many other famous lottery winners, she went with the lump sum that turned out to be about $370 million. Because she was living in Florida, Gloria was lucky enough not to have to pay state taxes on the lottery winnings. But, as always, a federal tax took a chunk out of her prize. In the end, she got $277.5 million. That's still a breathtaking amount of cash. You're probably wondering what she did with this much money. Well, she started a charity fund, the Gloria McKenzie Foundation. She put several $1 million into it right away. Her foundation's goal is to help young and talented people get a good education. What a kind-hearted lady. As for her own life, Gloria didn't go on a wild spending spree. Instead, she upgraded her home and bought a fancy mansion. She also arranged to live there with her son, Scott. Even though she had staff to take care of her, she wanted to be with her family. Sadly, it didn't work out that way. Her family didn't want to take care of her. Her son, Scott, immediately claimed he'd paid for half her ticket, and she handed over half her winnings to him. She also made the mistake of giving Scott the power of attorney over her half of the winnings. He hired a financial advisor who wasn't qualified and didn't invest Gloria's money the way she'd asked. He also charged her a shocking $2 million for his services. At least Scott had promised to look after Gloria, right? Well, he didn't stick to his promise. When Gloria injured herself and needed some help, Scott kicked her out of her own home and told her to go live in a care home. When her lawyers tried to step in, they discovered the deed to the house had been transferred to Scott. Gloria's other children let her move in with them because her worst fear was being put in a care home. At least some of her children cared, even though Scott, who was paid $150 million to look after his mom, was too cold-hearted to spend time with her. We don't know if Gloria regretted her win after her son betrayed her. Maybe she was better off poor. The next winner on our list also didn't have much money, but did his big win improve his life more than Gloria? Number 5. Reginald Smith, 85 years old. Say hello to Reginald Smith, an 85-year-old living in Uttoxeter, Staffordshire. He used to be a car park attendant before he retired. From then on, his life was quite simple. He would spend his Saturdays with his cup of tea and his trusty lottery ticket, hoping that he would get the grand prize someday. In 2003, something extraordinary happened. One special Saturday, all his numbers matched, and he won over 2.3 million British pounds. That equals about $3.75 million. Reginald was over the moon. He had just become a millionaire. He thought he had won just 10 British pounds at first, and he was actually pretty happy about that. But when he saw all his winning numbers, he could not believe his luck. What a humble man. When he told his daughter about his victory, she was also in disbelief. She had always believed her father's lottery adventures were a bit of a long shot. The news of Reginald's incredible win spread like wildfire through Uttoxeter. The entire town buzzed with excitement. The grand day arrived, and Reginald was presented the check at Uttoxeter Racecourse. Interestingly, it was a place where he had once worked as a simple car park attendant, but today he stood there as a jackpot winner. As for his grand prize, he wanted to take his family, including his 4 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren, on a nice vacation to Canada. Reginald Smith's story tells us that good things happen when we least expect them. We've got to stay in Britain to meet the next person on our list. This is the story of the UK's oldest lottery winner. Number 4. Dennis Banfield, 87 years old. 87-year-old Dennis Banfield and his wife Shirley were a humble couple from Bristol who were living their golden years in quiet contentment. But their lives were about to become much more thrilling. In 2018, they decided to try the lottery. The couple strolled down to their local newsagent and bought a lucky dip lottery ticket. They didn't really expect anything to come from it, but they won a huge jackpot worth 18 million British pounds. That's about $23.9 million. The Banfields were in shock when Shirley revealed the winning numbers the next day. Soon, they gathered at a hotel in Gloucestershire to announce their win to the media. Dennis was really emotional and tried to put into words what this meant to him. He spoke of sharing their jackpot with their beloved daughters, Tina and Karen. He had recently battled a leg infection and spent Christmas in the hospital, and he knew that his daughters would benefit greatly from this money. As for Shirley, she considered upgrading their trusty 3-door Nissan Micra to something more spacious. They also thought about moving to a bungalow, but it had to have space for Dennis's workshop because he loved carpentry. The Banfields' unexpected blessing changed their lives for good, and that was just from a single jackpot win. But the next winner on our list actually won twice. Let's find out how that turned out. Number 3. Lena Eaton, 90 years old. Lena Eaton, a 91-year-old great-grandmother from Indianapolis, had luck on her side in a way that's almost too incredible to believe. Can you imagine winning not one, but 2 lotteries in just 3 months? Well, Lena did just that. First, in August 2012, Lena won the Hoosier Lottery Quick Draw. She managed to match a whopping 10 out of 20 numbers, and that bagged her $300,000. But Lena was not done there. Just when you thought her luck could not get any better, Lena came back for round 2. This time, she tried a $5 scratch-off game called Scorchin' Hot Nines, and she hit the jackpot again, this time pocketing a dazzling $99,999. Now, you might be thinking, what are the odds of that? Well, they're really rare. The chances of winning 2 lotteries within 3 months are so slim that they're practically off the charts. It's a whopping 5.7 trillion to 1 shot, to be precise. It's the kind of luck that even leaves mathematicians scratching their heads. Al Larson from the Hoosier Lottery summed it up pretty well. He said that winning a lottery prize of any kind is a special experience. For someone to do it twice in just under 3 months is amazing, especially after they've turned 90 years old. Lena has truly defied the odds, and she's doing it with style. The 90-year-old has 6 children, 16 grandchildren, and more than 20 great-grandchildren, and she expressed the desire to share the reward with them. Plus, she has plans to renovate her home, too. Moreover, Lena Eaton is now a member of the elite club of those who have won the lottery more than once. Lena's luck is remarkable, but you know what's even better? Winning the lottery on her birthday. Yep, our next lottery winner knows what it's like to receive the greatest birthday gift ever. Number 2. Irvin Smolinski, 94 years old. Have you ever heard of getting the jackpot as a birthday present? It sounds special, right? Well, that's what Irvin received for his birthday in 2017. Irvin Smolinski, a Navy veteran, had seen the world change in ways he could never have imagined during his time in World War II. March 17, 2017 was Irvin's 94th birthday. He woke up that morning not expecting anything out of the ordinary. After all, when you're in your 90s, birthdays tend to be low-key affairs. But this birthday was unlike any he'd had in his life. As he sat down for his birthday celebration, his family gathered around. Irvin's daughter-in-law handed him a small gift. He unwrapped it, not knowing what was inside. It was a double bonus cash word instant game ticket. But this was no ordinary ticket. This ticket held the key to a whopping $300,000. Irvin could not believe his eyes. He was now the holder of a golden ticket, a ticket that promised a life-changing windfall. His daughter-in-law bought it at the local CVS pharmacy in Farmington Hills. You see, Irvin had a little tradition. Every time a family member had a birthday, he bought some instant lottery tickets and sent them as gifts. It was his way of spreading joy and hopefully a bit of luck to his loved ones. Now it was his turn, and this turned out to be the lucky ticket. For the next few days, he kept checking and rechecking the ticket to make sure it was real. He was so nervous about losing it that he even kept it in his pocket. Once he came to terms with the reality, he decided to claim his prize at the Michigan Lottery headquarters. But what did he do with his prize? Well, Irvin was a frugal man, always on the lookout for sales. He carefully manages his money. The only thing that changed for him was that he would not have to worry anymore. There were no big purchases made, but peace of mind is the biggest gift anyone can receive. 94 is an interesting age to win the lottery. But Irvin still isn't the oldest person on our list. Who's the oldest winner of all time? Let's find out. Number 1. Nguyen Van Het, 97 years old. Meet Nguyen Van Het from Vietnam, who at the ripe old age of 97 achieved something that no one saw coming. He won the lottery. Yep, you heard that right. He was 97 years old. He was not exactly living the high life. In fact, he started out life in a pretty poor community, and he stayed that way for the rest of his life. But then, Nguyen struck gold. Well, not literally gold, but he won a whopping 7.6 billion Vietnamese dong. That's about 400,000 USD. Over in Vietnam, that money will go a lot further than it would in the USA. It was an incredible amount of money for someone who'd never had any. Nguyen's luck started with something called Tet, which is lucky money given to celebrate the Lunar New Year. It was given to him by his relatives, and that was what he used to buy the lottery ticket. It was even more lucky than they realized. But Nguyen knew he did not have all the time in the world. At 97, he was well aware that his time on this earth was limited, so he decided he was going to make the most of it. Nguyen shared his riches with the people around him. His neighbor was so amazed by his generosity that they had to call in the local officials to stop him from giving away all his money. Yup, he was that generous. One of those officials revealed that before the lottery, Nguyen and his wife were living in poverty, and they were receiving financial assistance from the authorities. After giving away a ton of cash, Nguyen bought a few things for himself. He bought a TV, probably the fanciest one he had ever seen. He also indulged in something you'd find surprising. He bought some good old meat, a luxury he had not enjoyed much in his life. These incredible stories remind us that it's never too late for luck to shine on us. But these winners were pretty responsible with their money. That's weird for lottery winners, but there are other wealthy people out there who follow the same rules. Want to find out who they are? Check out our list of extremely rich people who live like average Joes.